Kidderminster Harriers fans podcast, episode 55. Tonight we are joined by Nick, and Matt is back again. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe as well. We're also live on YouTube, but you knew that, so get your comments in. We love that. Last time I spoke to Matt on the Sunday night, I was like, Matt, do you want to come on the podcast? And he was live for the San Siro. Matt, can you just confirm that you're definitely not in the San Siro anymore?
As you can tell, I'm definitely not there tonight.
No,
as much as I'd like to be.
I've never been, so I've never been. I don't know. Right, okay. So evening, gents, evening to all, and Nick as well. 2 games to cover with 6 points from 6. That's impressive. So I want to talk about yesterday first. I was there at Buxton. We went to Buxton. We mugged them off. The new number 10, oh my goodness, he did everything but score. A missing piece of the puzzle, and we found him, and he was in Boston all along. So it looks like the 4G curse has lifted as well, which is really good. Donnelly left me wondering why we didn't break the bank for him in the summer. As Murray had suggested, he hit the post and the bar and had a hand in 2 goals as well. So almost perfect debut. Nick, you were listening, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, listening yesterday. So to be fair, not the greatest in terms of an overview of the game, but from what I've heard from people that were there, I've not heard a single negative. I saw a guy in the social club at Wolverley earlier who was raving about Donnelly. Said he's exactly what we've been looking for. Yes. I also did, as you'd expect, Wes, a little bit of due diligence on the boy.
Are you kidding?
When he signed for us, had a little look at some of this sort of Hales Owen clips and. Circa 50 goals in 100 games is pretty special at any level. And having watched him, he did look sharp, and I was fairly excited having watched 2 or 3 of their highlight packages from when he was there. But you said at the top of the show, Wes, he was at Boston all along. Well, he was actually down the road in Hales Owen. Not so long ago. So, they do clearly have an eye for a player there. They're able to clearly build or attract a certain type of player with the likes of him and others. That Holmes is another one that looks quite an exciting talent, and of course they've got the bagsman that I have at the moment, but with Cowley. But he's someone who I'm really excited to see on Tuesday night.
Yes, mate.
And hopefully he is that creative / attacking missing piece that we've clearly had missing all season.
He was just brilliant because he made the front 3, if you will. We've been playing with the 3. They just came together. It just all came together through him. It was. I don't know if you've seen Ted Lasso when Jamie and he's talking about total football and playing through him, not past him, playing through him. That's basically what we did yesterday. I'm not saying
love Ted Lasso.
Am I saying we played total football yesterday? I think we did, to be fair. So there you go. That's the kind of thing. Matt, what's your thoughts, mate? Did you know anything about him before we joined?
I knew he had a half decent record at Boston, and he was brilliant at Hales Owen. Been on the periphery recently at Boston, and has played a few games before that as well. So I think. I thought possibly we might have needed something a bit different, but it sounds like he's the man now. I think be interested to know from your perspective, Wes, how, the difference Seb Thompson made as well. Because I was a bit of an advocate for him to be coming in for George Walker recently, and I felt when he came on, when he was moved to that right hand side on Tuesday night, he made a hell of a difference before he was strangely taken off Joe Silver. But I think Donnelly. It's from what I've heard from people who've been there and what I heard on the radio yesterday, Chris Williams can be half empty at times, the commentator, but he was raving about Donnelly. He was in the thick of it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him play on Tuesday night because it sounds like it's possibly, apart from the centre half we obviously need to replace Big Paul, probably the final piece of the jigsaw puzzle.
Yes, very much so. It was just amazing to see. And he kept running. He had that little bit of shithousery as well. That we love. We love that an awful lot.
Yeah, he's a ratty player. Saw an interview with him when he was at Hales Owen, and he sort of revels in them being that way. And let's face it, we've not really got loads of those players. Davis, I would describe as ratty. Cooper, I would describe as ratty for sure. But we've not really had, I suppose, Morgs, you'd class in that category to a certain extent. But someone with that sort of, in a way, he sort of reminds me of Jason Cowley. Like when I described him as that when he was at Harriers, albeit it was a very brief spell. He was that sort of quick, aggressive, the sort of player that if you were playing centre back, you'd really not sort of want to play against. And again, I've not seen him in a Harriers shirt, but having watched a bit of him at Hales Owen, he strikes me as that type of player, quite similar to Jason Cowley's kind of style of footballer. Yeah, ratty, basically.
Loved it. You were saying about Seb, Matt. Seb played well. He played. I mean, they all played well, but he played really well. And there was his goal. There was a free kick in exact same position before that, and Cooper took it, and Seb was just so annoyed by it. So then the second one he had, and then he hit it and he struck it, and I knew it was going in, but I didn't film it even though I knew it was going in, which was really annoying. But then look at the comments that have come in. Right, so Nolan Peter Nolan, Donnelly, great first game, could make a big difference, could have scored the goal of the season. He could have scored it, but he didn't score it. PK was straight in the squad, started off the only goal for Daggers and got man of the match. Well, there you go.
Football's a weird old game, isn't it? To be not fancied, to then come to us, to tear up trees, to then be recalled, to then be straight in, to get man of the match. It's just a really weird game, football.
Yeah, it was. I would suggest that everyone goes to just to see the way the team is a bit more refreshed. You remember the effect when Hemo came back in December and the team felt refreshed and that kind of thing. It's happened again. I swear to you, it's happened again. It really has. And I was thinking about Hemo, and I wasn't worried about him then. You know what I mean? Now he's left, and now we're all like, we made a good choice or not? And yeah, we certainly have, to be fair.
We kind of needed it after Tuesday. I felt that was, I'm sure we'll come on to it, but sounded a lot more positive, a lot more attacking, a lot more front foot yesterday. 3 goals, open play goals in terms of not a penalty, for example. So I was pleasantly encouraged by that, and I do think these certain signings do create that spark and energy. And let's hope that Donnelly, we've also got Danny Waldron, who's injured as well. I wouldn't mind potentially seeing those two as a bit of a 2 and see what those two can do. Donnelly, I believe, is till the end of the season as well. Now there'll always be a recall option, but you'd like to hope that Boston have got a wide enough squad for him to just stay out on loan and be out on loan, and get him the ability to, let's face it, he wouldn't have met the players for very long. So if he can have had that impact that early on 4G. Let's hope that on Tuesday night under the lights, after a back-to-back victories, that the crowd is good, the atmosphere is good, and I think the commentator yesterday on Hereford and Worcester said that really would be really good if he could get a goal either on his debut or his first game at Agborough, because strikers do need that, don't they? And none of our strikers this season have kind of had that momentum moment where they get a goal early and then it's like it carries on. Let's hope for Donnelly on Tuesday or Saturday against Chester at home that he gets that goal and he can just kick on. And fans want a goal scorer, and if we can get one, and we've got one, it does not make a big difference to the whole stadium and the team. You're not relying on defenders to put on a clinic or the goalkeeper to put on a clinic to go and win a game 1-0. So look, let's not put too much pressure on him. It was one game, but the positive signs are important, and let's hope he can kickstart on Tuesday and Saturday.
It was funny because Amari came on as sub, then went on to score through a pass from Donnelly, which was amazing. But there was 2 on him, on Amari, every time there were 2 on him, and he still won the ball. He's like, not many of this, thanks. No way. Matt, Amari's doing well. You a big fan still, or what are you thinking with Amari?
I've always liked Amari. I think the last year I've pretty questioned whether he was to be the main number 9 for us moving forward, purely because of his age. Nothing that he's done. I think he's very fit for his age. He's not your average. He's 37 now.
Don't matter,
I think he's certainly got a part to play. He's a nightmare for defenders. He gives them a physical battle. He's an experienced guy. He's obviously one of the big people in the change rooms in terms of being a big voice and an encourager and a leader. So I think he's got a part to play. Like I say, it was great to see him score yesterday because I think he's, like Murray said in his post-match interview yesterday, he's gone a bit under the radar a bit in terms of what he brings, and maybe goals isn't the kind of the top thing he brings, but it's great to see him get a goal because I think, like we'll see with Donnelly when he finally bags, because he will at some point, a player like that.
Of course.
It just gives that bit of confidence. If a striker goes through a barren spell, like we've seen with Hemo, they just look a bit drained of confidence, really. And I think it's important because we're playing Tuesday, Saturday. Then we've got the Easter period as well. Hell of a lot of games coming up, and everyone in that squad is going to be called upon.
Absolutely, there will be. When I pulled up in Buxton, I got out of the car and I saw my mate Stuart and his son Alfie. We were chatting. The next thing I know, I'd see this character just coming walking up the road to me. I was like, "Is that you, Phil?" And he was like, "Oh, way better." It's like, "What are you doing?" And then he said that he was obviously on a bit of a spying mission and whatever. And he was looking good. He was driving as well, which was nice. Good on you, Phil. Got his license back, which was fun.
Do you think it says a lot they didn't want him at their game yesterday? Bear in mind, it's Gash's first game.
No, do you know what? Do you know what? Stu pointed this out to him. As soon as he left, Stu said to him, because I said, Phil, what happened? Why did you move up? Because the Sun was saying that iconic football manager gets a new job. And I said, you've only gone upstairs. He said, well, the thing was, I wasn't happy with some of the decisions that are going on upstairs, that kind of thing. And Stu turned to me after he'd left and said, yeah, they can't afford to get rid of him.
Who knows?
So maybe that was the way. I think possibly. I'm sure he's on a pretty penny, isn't he? I would have thought Phil Brown, but there you go. So yeah, it was great.
Honestly, I think it depends what you class as a pretty penny. I think everyone sort of thought he was on mega bucks at the Harriers, but I do believe there'll be a wage structure in place for the managerial positions as there would be for the players. Now, I'm not suggesting that Phil Brown was on less money, let's say, than Adam Murray. But I don't think it would have been, an infinite pot of money to be able to spend on him just because he's Phil Brown. And I also think somebody like Phil Brown just wants to still be involved in football. That was the sense I got from him last season as a Harriers manager, was he just loved the game. He loved being around the lad like that. I don't think he's necessarily, albeit the perception might be, is I don't think he's fully money motivated. I think he probably gets his money from the fact he's been a Premier League Championship manager. He does his radio stuff. He's probably, I don't imagine the main source of his income is coming from actual day-to-day football management these days. I think he's probably sitting on a decent amount of money and is still able to do what we'd all love to do, which is be involved in some kind of decent level football. Someone's just put he's got an expensive jacket on, and to be fair, I think he has. So I think that's kind of more the thing with Phil. It's not that Phil Brown and co. I don't think it's like, everyone's splashing loads of money on him personally. I think he's doing it for the love, I think, to a big degree.
Now, the thing about Phil Brown, he was Marmite, wasn't he? But I put that picture up on Harriers Hotline yesterday, and it's had 75 likes on it, which is the most amount of likes a picture has ever had, and that's including our playoff winning season as well. See, is there still love for him? There's absolutely still love for him. But yeah, we love Phil Brown. It was really good. So to the comments, Daniel Giles, I suppose he wouldn't bank on football wages. Given his young kids, he'll have other sources of income. Of course he will. He's Phil Brown. Absolutely. What else have we got? Don't think he would be doing the media stuff if Peterborough Job Sport was paying well. Wow, a bit of extra cash that was out, wouldn't it? I'm sure we'd all do it anyway. Stu Wallstrom, hello, Stu. Good evening to you, mate. Great game yesterday. It really was. We controlled the game. Every player played their part. Full credit. Adam got a spot on. I also want to give a shout out to the food at Buxton, because last season the food was dire. I had a burger and it was horrendous. You remember the burgers that came in the tins, the big burger shaped tin, and you just open it up and they were just whatever, the nearly meat. This time I had a meat and potato pie, and it was lovely. It was a solid 7 out of 10, Matt. You'd like that, mate. You'd have been all about that, I would have thought. So yeah, so we said last Sunday that we've got big games coming up. We'd have to get 6 points. We just said we'd have to get 6 points. Did we believe we were going to get 6 points in total, Nick? It was achievable.
Yeah, I think on paper they're two games that you would. Buxton, I think, is a bit of a different one. But I thought Alfreton on Tuesday night. Look, the performance was. Are we going to talk about Alfreton game at some point?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, next. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll save my thoughts for that for then. But you look at Alfreton in the table. I think they were second or third worst away record. So you've got to be looking at that on paper and expecting us to go and win the game.
Yeah.
The nature of how we won it was not what you would want, but fundamentally we won, got the 3 points, and that is all that matters at this stage of the season. I think Buxton is one of those games sitting mid-table, kind of, there's the talk of 4G and all that jazz, the usual stuff that gets thrown out every time we play on Astro. But ultimately, I think the centre half they've got, I can't remember his name now because I'm tired from the day. Is it Kieran Burton? Is that his name?
Yeah, with the dreads.
Yeah, with the dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Good centre half at this level is my view of
absolutely.
him. And apparently Donnelly just absolutely bullied him all game. Really, really good performance. So I think the Donnelly effect or the new signing effect made a big difference to the energy, and it sounded like we put a really good away professional high tempo performance in. Whereas if there was one game you'd have expected us to maybe get a draw, it might have been that one. So to have gone to Alfreton at home and to have beaten Buxton 6 points with Peterborough Sports, another side that are near the foot of the table, 9 from 9 would really start to put the pressure on Merthyr and get us into a position where it's ours to lose in terms of third place, which is where we finished last season, albeit it was a 3-position swing on the final day. Weird to think we finished third. It's weird, isn't it, to think that, but we did. So that has to be the ambition now. South Shields and Fylde way too far ahead. Third place is first place for us now, in my mind. And let's hope Fylde continue to sort of stutter and potentially lose confidence between now and the end of the season, because over the course of the last week or two, South Shields have started to really put their foot on the gas, and they've only lost 3 times this season, South Shields. So they're a team you wouldn't really fancy in the playoffs, in my mind. Whereas Fylde at least have lost a few, and we don't lose many. So that would be my choice. I'd prefer to be in the playoffs out of the two. Fylde over South Shields for me.
Yeah, we lost 1 in 15 so far, so that's all good. I was going to say that Dibble was wearing the green shirt yesterday.
Nice. No, Dan loves the green shirt, doesn't he?
Ooh, doesn't he just? So let's turn our attention to last Tuesday. Well, Tuesday just gone. Alfreton, I listened on the radio, and God, I nearly fell asleep at halftime. Matt, what were your thoughts on that game?
I think the Alfreton game kind of typified how I thought we've been all season. Difficult to break down, and we've nicked a 1-0.
Yeah.
I thought the first 55, 60 minutes was quite bad. We didn't keep the ball very well. Dibble was the busy at the 2 keepers. He made a good save first off. It was from his back pass, but he made a good save. I felt that as soon as we brought Seb Thompson onto the right-hand side and brought Imari Morgan-Smith into the team, we looked a lot better for that 10-minute spell because we had an outlet with Seb getting a good ball in. Then he took him off. Then it all went a bit Pete Tong again in terms of lack of creativity. It was a difficult watch. We got ourselves over the line, but if you had to typify or base our game on one season, it's probably that, if I'm honest.
It reminded me in a sexual sort of scenario.
Just a relief to get the win, really, because I've seen us before where we nearly conceded at the end when Big Jerry got on the header. But I just felt that we were solid, didn't create a lot, and then we eventually got ourselves over the line. It was a good finish by Devine. It was a good bit of work by Riley Reynolds. That bit of quality from Reynolds. I thought the new guy played well. He's not the biggest centre half. I don't think long term he's going to be the answer there. But I thought he was great against 2 big guys. I felt that Davis and Cooper were a bit off their game a bit, which is unlike them. I thought Owen Evans was a 7 instead of an 8 out of 10. Thought Folks a little bit below par. There was just a few tired legs out there, really, and I think it's probably a bit of rotation as well. But Alfreton were here to nick something, weren't they? They were here to nick a point, but we got the job done.
You were saying, Nick, something about sex. What was that about?
Yeah, it was the sort of sexual equivalent of a kiss on the cheek Tuesday night. I thought it just sort of it was really poor. I thought it was a really poor quality, poor standard of game. Two poor teams. They were awful in the main, and we weren't much better. Ultimately we got the win, and that is, when you go and then back it up on a Saturday and win again, it makes Tuesday night look a fantastic result and a fantastic, outcome for us. But I thought there were, a bit like what Matt said, Joe Folks looked really frustrated. I thought he didn't look happy on the pitch. He looked really frustrated. There was no movement. A lot of the ball was being moved too slowly. And I thought the defence for us really sort of, I'm not going to say won the game for us, but again, they were so solid, apart from that moment at the end when Jerry decided to clear it for us, which was great. I thought the defence was nice and solid, but the ball just wasn't moving. There was no... I've said this about the team over the season, and we've had pockets where we've had serious intensity and looked a proper side. But a little bit like what Matt said, I don't know whether it was through us being jaded or fatigued, but there was just no tempo to the game, to our performance or intensity whatsoever. And when you're a fan on a Tuesday night and there's under 2,000 there, I guess sometimes that can be a difficult game to sort of get up for. But I think on another day where we've got that tempo and we've got that intensity, I think they're a side you can comfortably beat, by 2 or 3 goals. It just wasn't to be on the night, and in the end we sort of feel like you get away with one, just nicking one late. But other teams do that. Good teams find ways to win when they're not playing well. But it was a stinker. I was thoroughly bored on Tuesday night. But hopefully that spark, new energy into the group. 2 new signings hopefully incoming based on Adam Murray's latest interview. I think that can hopefully spark us in a way that it did last season when we went on that 13 game or whatever it was, unbeaten or wins in a row to nearly go and lift the title. I'd quite like those 13 to include a playoff final as well, as I'm sure we all would. But I think that has to be, you look at Tuesday night and think, if that's the sort of performance we judge out on a playoff game, we're in big trouble, because a half decent side would have turned us over on Tuesday night, but Alfreton were really poor and very basic. Onwards and upwards, I think, on Tuesday night. I'm genuinely really looking forward to the game.
Do you think, as Harriers fans, because we've talked about this at the beginning of the season when it got a bit dire and stuff, do you think we struggle to accept a 1-0 ball draw? What do you think, Matt?
Yeah and no. I think there's been an argument in the past, isn't there, about entertainment over results, which I never agree with, because it's not that gets you up the league. And I think I've still got a bit of PTSD from the Colin Gordon days, really, where it was our plan B was to do plan A better with 3 midgets in the midfield and all that nonsense. I think this season I've not really enjoyed, because I think we could be a lot better, and there seems to be a bit of a handbrake on somewhere. We seem to be quite risk adverse. I think there's only been one game I've left the ground and thought, I really enjoyed that, and that was Telford when they had half a team missing. I did enjoy the Wellston game. I thought we'd give it a good go, but we didn't. We didn't really create as much. We're a far cry from the style of last season. Maybe some of the players, Hemmings obviously isn't here, and it didn't look the same player. We've obviously lost Maz. By the way, watch Maz's assist for Notts County's winner yesterday. Absolute top draw. See, I'm kind of edge. I want to be entertained a little bit, because I've not really been entertained this season. I sound like I contradict myself a bit here, but let me just explain it. I'm all for a 1-0 win. Like last season, we the way we ground out the Brackley and the Scunthorpe wins were top draw, just what we needed. And I don't think the teams of maybe 5-6 years ago would have done that. But I don't think there's been teams there that have been there for the taking, like Tuesday night. That they were bad, like Nick said. That they were crap. You've got Joe McDonough up front. That says a lot, doesn't it? So, but we're not. I don't think we're going for it enough in those games. So whether that's a tactic where we are being a bit more reserved and we are trying to nick a 1-0 because we know we haven't got a lot going forward, possibly, I don't know. That might change now with Donnelly and the fact we've gone and bagged 3 goals yesterday. But I would like to see the handbrake lifted off a little bit more, should we say, because there are times where it does seem that we're a bit more, I don't want to misplace a pass, fucking hell, it seems a bit like that, really. Wanting someone just getting the ball at their feet and just being like, go and express yourself a bit more.
Do you know what it reminded me of, Matt? What it reminds me of at times, and I'm saying the phrase at times because there have been a few games this season I've been entertained, albeit nowhere near as many as I thought I would be. But it reminds me at times a little bit when we were in the National League for that one season, and it's almost like if the other team does score, you feel like maximum here is a draw. It's almost like we're like a percentage-based team, but not in a traditional sense of being a percentage-based team. Like I've said at the start, the first, probably till Christmas, the games felt very 50-50. Like I said it on this podcast, it was almost like I've never seen the ball in our half as much as I have at times this season. They still feel quite transitional, the games. So it's not like completely always back to front. But it's somewhere in between that. It's a far cry from last season's kind of at times champagne football. However, you know, I look at the Alfreton game last season, we dominated the game. We should have easily won like 3-0 last season, and Alex Penny puts a bit of a unlucky own goal past Dibble, and we lose that game 1-0. So it was far from perfect last season, but I think overall we got the balance of entertainment and results, albeit one game away from glory. I feel like this season, and pretty much any season, if you're not really entertained as a fan, more often than not, you have to win. You have to achieve something, and if you do that, it sort of gets forgotten about a little bit. And then you then have the opportunity in the National League where there's more footballing teams to potentially express yourself, get in the kind of player that can do and execute maybe the game plan that you want to execute. But I think it's a bit more risky when you play percentage-based football and it's not the most entertaining. I feel like the pressure on you to win is higher, and I feel like that's where the Harriers management team have kind of got themselves to, where because the fans aren't exactly blown away by the entertainment and the football side of things, it puts such an emphasis on results and achievement that he's probably feeling a little bit frustrated, Murray, that he's not getting he said it, he made a point of saying it in the interview, 1 defeat in 15 or whatever. That's fantastic, but there's definitely an element of the fan base where that isn't maybe enough.
I'm going to say it
will be if we get promoted. No one will moan. No one will care.
Absolutely not.
But I think it's a happy medium.
Yeah, and do you know what? If you'd have been there yesterday, Nick, you'd have loved that, mate. You would have loved that because everyone was just going for it and getting involved. And in the second half, they were beaten. They knew they were beaten as well. There were like 3 guys, or 3 late teenagers to the left of me. They were given, I think it was Brannan, his name was, the left winger, Brannan or something. Basically, he dived. Is what?
He's a good player, though.
Yeah, but he dived, right? So then they just went for him. And then they brought this other guy on called Hill to play left back. And he was just so crap. And they just let him know he was so crap as well. And it was just funny just to see us, abusing players and being in a good position to do that. I'm not saying we should abuse them every time, but, it's just fun. So just enjoy that. Guys, listen, we'll start talking about Alfreton because Dr. Stephen has spoken. Dr. Stephen Words. I saw him yesterday, actually, Doctor. So thank you. He says, I'm bored. We're talking about Alfreton game. Let's move on. So 10 minutes later, we'll move on. Okay. So let's see what's coming up. So we talked about Peterborough Sport. 6 games there. 6 games. 2 home, 4 away. Is that correct? Yeah, that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
But how many of those are 4G?
1. Oxford away.
That was awful.
I don't think Radcliffe is 4G.
Marina 4G.
It's 4G nonsense to bed, boys. We've just beaten a team yesterday.
Exactly.
Absolutely, we can.
Myth. It's like saying this league better than last season. It's a load of BS because we haven't been great yet. We're still in we haven't scored any goals and we're still going in for 3rd place. you know. We're
okay.
I think the 4G stuff.
We had this debate last week, didn't we? 4G is what it is. Like, yeah, we have to play on it at the level that has to play on it. You can't. There's only so many years you can say we can't play on 4G. Like, we've got to deal with it, and we have. Like you said, we've won, and we had a decent record on it last season. So yeah, whatever.
It was so funny seeing Digger come on as well. It was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What he can't do what you're doing. And he came on, he could do it quite easily. So come on, guys.
I think they're trying to manage Davis. There's a lot of games coming up now, like I said, isn't there? There's Saturday, Tuesday for the next 3 weeks, is it? Then we've got Easter. Hell of a lot of games, and by the sound of it, there's players who are carrying knocks. And by the sound of it, Wes, you'll probably be able to tell us a bit more. Folks didn't look comfortable apparently yesterday when he went off.
Mate, he came off. He's done something. It could be a groin. I hope it could be a groin. It was like a hamstring because he walked off, but it could be a calf injury. Dr. Stephen, you were there, mate. Come on now, let us know.
Joe's got bad ankles, hasn't he? So I don't think he likes the. I do think he is someone that's not a huge fan of 4G for his injuries, and we've got. I think there's a difference between not fancying it on 4G because it's so different to playing on grass versus having actual injuries that are worse impacted than 4G. I think they're two separate things. And your Davises and potentially your Joe Folks and others, when they say they don't like it, or when the perception is they don't like it, it's not so much playing on it. I think it's actually just the impact on the body and some of the injuries they've had in the past.
Carl says, how was Willoughby yesterday? He was on the wrong side, Carl, and he looked frustrated. That's the only thing I can say, really, to be honest with you. Ollie saying Chester in good form, dark horses for the playoffs. Yeah. That team yesterday, I remembered how they play football, would smash any of those 6 teams in front of me. So I Tuesday night to Chorley, to Darlow, then you've got Tuesday night at Spennymoor as well.
Chorley's never easy, is it? Chorley's never easy. Chorley's never easy game.
No, that's a long way.
Radcliffe are in the mix and having their moments. So
and they beat us 5-1, didn't they? That was the game where everything just imploded for me and Adam Murray and everyone else. Yeah, that was a bad game. No, it wasn't that one, was it? Oh,
we did lose 5-1 to Radcliffe,
Yeah, at home that was pretty awful.
Yeah.
Pretty awful.
But at least we've got something to try and owe them. We owe them one after that, don't we?
Absolutely, 2 or 3. Stu saying, folks, apparently 50-50 for Tuesday. Maybe he does need to be rested. Yes, he is. Sam says, will you be able to get in touch with the club and pass? What are you laughing at?
I don't think, Sam, the club can overturn something you've been given in court, pal. Hello, by the way.
Hang on.
How are you?
Let me read this up. Sam says,
famous on the BBC.
Is this Sam who was on the away fan and just okay? Sam says, will you be able to get in touch with the club and pass a word on to try and get me unbanned? As all I did was throw a can of beer and got a 4-year ban. Richard Lane would be best to speak to. Okay,
that can't actually be him though. That's surely someone pretending to be him.
They've gone to a lot of lengths to set up their own YouTube handle and stuff to do that, but that is hysterical. I'm going to clip that because that's brilliant. Oh, that is brilliant. I read that. Sam, anyway, join it. Thanks for joining us, pal. We'll just keep you informed. It's fine here. No, we can't. The club don't like us anyway, so I'm sure Adam does. Well, maybe I don't. Mario does. He watches all the time, so even Mario. But no, we can't do that. Dr. Stephen, unfortunately, he was holding his hamstring, but I think it was a precautioning. Is that a word? Precautioning?
It was a precautionary, I think that's meant to read.
Dr. Stephen doesn't make mistakes, Matt. So we were all wrong, to be fair.
It's doctored handwriting, I think, Wes.
The spider scribble everywhere. So maybe it was. Sam. Oh, man, that's hysterical. That's so... All you do was throw a can of beer. That was all it was. Was it empty or full, Sam? Because that might go in your face. If it was empty, you'd just be like, I was just trying to throw it in the bin, and that's fine. But if it's full, then, that's not great, I don't think. Now Calmac has gone. That's Chester, I'm guessing. And they picked up a good win yesterday. Has he left? I thought he was leaving the end of the season. Obviously,
I got rid of him sooner.
Fair play. I'm going to have to get the table up.
Weird one that to let him continue and then to the end of the season, but then obviously pulled the plug. But you don't often hear about that, do you? Giving the manager till the end of the season at this level. At any level, really, but let alone this one.
Yeah, it's a strange setup, that. But
yeah, very strange. Very volatile fan base, though, Chester, aren't they? Like they're the sort of fans that really, really get on the manager's back, really, if they have a few bad... I mean, you'd say we're bad. I feel like Chester probably worse in that respect.
I don't
There's
think
a
there's
few-
much between us, to be honest. It's football fans, isn't
Similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
fair
a
shout.
few months ago, one of their fans got his way into the away dressing room and started slagging off all the players to their faces. I don't think that landed very well. I don't think it was very good of him. But yeah, it just
might
shows you.
drop.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He won his last game as well, and then he was gone 2 hours after. Very odd timing. Like Phil, I'm going to talk about it. I don't want to talk about Phil Brown, but yeah. Willem says, now how do you say his name? Is it if Farky?
Farky, isn't it?
I go with Farky.
Farky looks a baller. He does, but I don't. What happened with their goal? I don't get it. Was it? I don't get it. It wrong-footed Dibble anyway. Nick, you're a goalie, mate. You'd have seen it. What happened? What was Dibble doing?
I'll be honest, I haven't seen it. The highlights
Absolute
out. I've had a
disgrace.
crazy busy day today, but I think ultimately, look, if you're a goalkeeper and the ball gets deflected off a attempted clearance or a ricochet, and they're close in, it's very difficult to react. It's horrible when that happens. So yeah, but in terms of him as a player, I saw him on Tuesday, and I thought, considering the level of physicality that Alfreton typically bring, I thought he handled it quite well. To Matt's point, he doesn't look the biggest, which was okay on Tuesday night, but don't know. I think it's too early to say about his level for us. It's difficult boots to fill, PK, because he's a specimen, isn't he? He's an athlete, and he's a brute, really, and he's exactly what you need in this division. Not always the nicest on the eye. Pardon?
He's not been bought in as a commanding centre half, has he, Fark? Yeah, I think Murray said he's been bought in something else.
But what position was it?
Right back. We think
possibly right centre half, right back, but he's obviously been chucked into the centre at the minute, isn't he?
So I wouldn't be surprised if a centre half is still on the radar, and maybe a midfield player. If assuming Murray's saying two, a couple is two, that's where I would imagine we're now probably looking. But yeah, certainly put himself about. Certainly looks decent on the ball, and in terms of debuts and considering the opposition, I thought he did pretty well. So yeah.
I forgot to mention Pierce Bird came on yesterday, which was lovely.
How did he look?
Pardon?
How did he look in terms of, like, was he sharp, rusty?
He came on literally within about 3 seconds. He smashed their attacker in the back on the floor. He was just literally just going for it. It was just brilliant to see.
But he's won promotion, hasn't he, Bird? So if he can get back fit and get back in the team, maybe he is the defender that we need to.
Absolutely.
And then it's actually a centre half pairing that have both won the league. Am I right in saying that? Obi's won it, and
they won it at Bird's. Murray,
they both did.
Were they both at Fylde? Was Bird Fylde too?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
So that's a positive, isn't it? That you'd have two centre halves that have won the division. And Joe Folks has obviously won promotion, so it's not a bad three when you think about it.
Yeah, it's just interesting to see how fit he actually is, match fit.
Yeah.
I think the ideal world, he'd go out on loan for a month, but I think the injuries are going to dictate that. But like Paul said in the comments there, Tom Leake's been leaked with us. I heard that on Saturday morning that he was on the radar. But there's some concerns possibly about his pace, but he's another guy who's won promotion out of this league. He's gone on to do well at this level. He had Murray Morgan Smith in the back pocket in the playoff semi-final, didn't he, last year? That's how well. So perhaps I think, like you said, Nick, about the transfers coming in, I think the centre half is probably going to be one of them anyway. Farky could be out. If it's ribs, he could be out for a month or two, So and Bird's not quite match fit yet. I think the centre half, especially a commanding one, I think we need to get in really, regardless, because it's like I say, PK's it's big shoes, isn't he? Big guy,
huge,
big performances, and I think. As good as Farky was on Tuesday night, I think I worry about our back three when it comes under an aerial bombardment, because you've got Owen Evans, who's probably my height, not the biggest. Farky's 6 foot.
And I'll tell you what though, Obi, the amount of headers that guy wins Tuesday night again, the ball's like a magnet to his head. He is someone that can definitely and I think him and PK were that sort of, when the ball was going into the mixer and it was going high and it was, was going long. Those two in particular, I thought generally dealt with it really well. I think Pierce Bird looked good in the air from the few times that we saw him early on in the season. But I also don't remember. He is quite tall. He's quite a big guy. But you talk about Tom Leake's lack of pace. I don't, from memory, I don't think Bird had a huge amount of. So if you think about the start of the season, at times we got a little bit caught out because we had Bird, Tunnicliffe, and Obi. And Obi was kind of finding his feet at that time. He wasn't the player that he is right now and has been for the last few months. So it will be interesting if to see has Bird got the pace that's potentially needed, because I don't think PK or Obi have that sort of electric pace, but they were both fairly sort of
big stride.
They weren't slow, were they?
Yeah.
But if you're in the right place at the right time, pace doesn't really come into it, does it?
Yeah, if you could read the game, then perfect.
I remember on this. Yes, sorry, Matt. I remember on this podcast back in September when we beat Kingsley 1-0 away from home. Bird, honestly, that if you want to show someone how to defend, just show how he played that night.
A proper defender, yeah.
It was immense, absolutely immense. And also, he can throw a long ball if he wants to. And he can strike a ball as well. Did you see that? And we know when he signed, did you see that when the video, the reel, when he threw the ball in and into the area, came back to him and he just belted it on his left.
That's an unbelievable goal.
Oh, mate, come on.
Yeah,
come on now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Right, okay. So it's Kidderminster Harriers Fans Podcast, episode 55. You're joined by myself, Matt, who's in Jay's caravan. By Nick and by Sam, who can't get in the game because he threw a can at someone. It's mad. This podcast is mad. That'll be one of the highlights, actually. One of the highlights of the season when I'm putting it together at the end. That'll be one of the highlights, I think. Good evening to Max. I can't remember who Max supports. I think it's Macclesfield or something. They were rubbish yesterday. They lost. That was all good. So there you go. That was that. We covered the games. Oh, actually, no. I'll go back to the games we're playing. Right. How many points do you reckon? I'll go to Matt first. How many points out of, how many is that? 18?
How many games we got? It's going to be tricky, isn't it? 6 games, 18. I'd probably say maybe about 13. I think that there's going to be some games coming thick and fast. Some tough places to go as well. A lot of ways. Spennymoor is going to be tough with Glenn Taylor up front, a few others. Chorley, like Nick said, you get no favours from Chorley.
No.
Chester's going to be a difficult one next Saturday as well, I think.
Yeah.
They are best than what their league table suggests, and maybe it's the change of manager that sparks them to life for the latter part of it. But we need to keep in touch with at least with Merthyr. I think if we can get 3rd place, brilliant.
We got 3 games in hand on them, haven't we? Merthyr.
Yeah, it's winning them nowhere.
Yeah, got to get the points. I think
it's not points in the bank though, is it?
I think 18 points for grabs. What do they say? 2 points a game would be good. 12 points. I think Darlington on a Tuesday night's a really tough game. We get 3 points in that one. That will feel like a 6-pointer. Oxford away, the Hemo factor. How will he find that? Obviously on the 4G, not using that as an excuse because we're fine on it, but just something to consider. I'd like to fancy us against Oxford, to be honest with you. Darlington's tough. Radcliffe away's tough. Chorley's tough. Got to win these 2 home games, really. If you win those first 2, if we beat Peterborough on Tuesday and we beat Chester on Saturday, you give yourself a really good chance of getting 12 points, don't you?
Absolutely.
But we've got to take advantage of these next 2 games at Agborough and get behind the lads and then see if we can go and do what we've actually over recent years done, which is be really good on the road. Our record away from home last 3 seasons must be really good. Yeah, let's hope it continues.
Oxford City away then on the 28th. My friend Craig, we're doing a lads weekend in Oxford. Yeah, come on. That means basically we'll get some food, have a nice meal, have one beer, go to bed at 9 in the hotel. That's what that means.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, I tell you what, I can't stop. Once I start, I just cannot stop. But Oxford, we're heading down to the Farmer's Dog. You know Jeremy Clarkson's pub? We're going to head down there and just get some grub before. Couldn't get a table, obviously, because it's there. But yeah, so if anyone's in...
good pie, Wes. The Gardeners, they good pie.
Is that the Gardener's Arms, Matt?
Yeah, real good pie at the Gardeners.
Nice.
Where? In Oxford?
Yeah, the Gardeners. Try that, Wes.
I think it's in Slough, isn't it?
Oh. All right. Well done, guys. Well done. Anyway, so if anyone wants to come and join us, man, we'll be in there at 12 o'clock. It's not cheap, though, apparently. I was told yesterday.
Is it Courage?
Is it what?
Is it Courage, the brewery down there?
You need courage to go in if it's not cheap. Bloody hell.
Oh, true, yeah. Get on the Hawkstone.
Oh, mate, come on now. What's the the raspberry flavour one or something? One of them's got a really wacky name.
Try the Hawkstone cider, Wes. That's good. They sell it in Sainsbury's by me. That's a good cider if you like your cider. The Hawkstone cider, yeah. It's nice.
He's doing all right, isn't he, Jeremy Clarkson?
Beverages are available.
But not right now, because we're talking about Hawkstone. So, do you know what I mean? Why would we ruin it? Why would we ruin that? I don't know. Noel says, be typical if Hemo plays well in that Oxford game. Yes,
probably, yeah.
Well, but then again, he'll probably be in someone's pocket the whole game. So, imagine if he man-marked him, had Digger on the whole game, just so he couldn't do anything or get anywhere. Actually, no, be on 4G, so he might not want to play it. He might want to injure his tendons or whatever.
He's a Harriers legend. He's a Harriers legend, though, isn't he? Like, let's hope he has an amazing rest of the season, taking points off the teams that are in and around us, and has a stinker when he plays against us. That's all you can hope for. But let's hope he's, I mean, if you're Oxford and you're signing Ashley Hemmings, considering where Oxford are at the minute, you'd be really buzzing with that. Really buzzing. So I hope he does well, just not against us.
Yeah, do you know what? Actually, I sent Hemo a message a week ago.
Remember that, Wes? They're not your friends, yeah?
Yeah, we're friends. He replied, actually, Nick. He did reply, and he said, leave me alone now. I was like, no. Yeah. He replied and he said, I'm more than up for coming on the podcast, and I'll let you know about what happened and stuff and why I left, that kind of thing. So hopefully Hemo will be coming on. And what the best thing is, Matt Paddock can't get in the way and stop us. He can't stop. No one can stop us from the Harriers, which is amazing.
He can and he will. So
yes, of course he will. I love that. I absolutely love that. So yeah. So guys, listen, we talked about the two games. Hopes for the season. Then we're not talking about going up automatically, are we? Like number one, we're not talking about that. No. That's not happening. So there was chat a while back, and Dan got very excited about it. It's like, South Shields at home, last game of the season. Now, so we could still affect, if File just start to pick up pace and South Shields lose a couple of games, we could still affect the outcome of the title race. But who would you want to go up automatically?
South Shields for me.
Yeah.
I'm not that asked. I think they're two good sides.
They are, yeah.
I think they'll go to the wire. I think they'll go to the wire, which would be good because we can affect it. And I think whoever swallows in the last game of the season or misses out, traditionally, they don't go on to do well in the playoffs, do they? So we saw that last year. We saw that with Kings Lynn a couple of years ago. We saw that with ourselves under Eustace, didn't we? So
yeah,
there's definitely a trend
for a bit of a hangover with it.
There's definitely a trend for that happening. What would really suck though would be if South Shields won it at Agborough when we had the chance to win it last season away and didn't. Like that will just sit horribly with me. I would rather South Shields either be in it, have won it, or be out of it in terms of winning the title race coming to Agborough, because I would hate that. I would hate to see a team go and do the job that we should have done last season on the final game. So that isn't the worst nightmare element for me. The only reason, Matt, Wes, that I've said that I would want South Shields to win the division out of the two is for the reason that Fylde are so money orientated and almost like the Rushton and Diamonds almost, if you can remember that far back of the division, which doesn't sit well. They're proper plastic, whereas South Shields have at least got a heritage in non-league football. Plus the way South Shields play I quite like. But also Fylde lose games. South Shields have only lost 3. I do think there's some similarities to, I've said this in the WhatsApp group, between South Shields Fylde and that Wrexham County season. And a part of me thinks, are they just 2 proper standout teams that actually do both go up? They've both got that kind of, you had Paul Mullen and Macaulay Langstaff at Wrexham and County, and they had that sort of that run going for the whole season, and the match where they played each other, and those two having a bit of a goal scoring competition. There's a lot of similarities, I think, between those two. And what I do worry about is that they are the 2 standout sides. But we've beaten them. We've beaten South Shields.
Exactly.
And we've beaten Fylde. But for me, I'd like Fylde to the playoffs. That would be, imagine going there in the final and winning. That would be a special game, wouldn't it? So that'd be a
Definitely
special way to go up. So yeah,
imagine Murray if he beats them at their gap.
There's just something about that does appeal a little bit for me. Hopefully they lose in the semi-final anyway, and we get to do it at Agbra. But beating Fylde away with the whole Murray stuff, lots of ex-players with Obi and Bird and whoever else that sort of have coexisted at either club, that would be special. And let's face it, Fylde are the most disliked club in the division. There's no 2 ways about that, really. They're up there, aren't they? So it'd be nice to beat them.
I know. I'm not going to talk about it because So my question should have been, who would you not want to play in the playoff final? So South Shields is. Imagine we beat South Shields twice though this season, home and away.
They're kind of team that suit our style.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matt.
Fylde away would be tough. I'd like to avoid Macclesfield if they get in. I think they look like they're having a bit of a hangover at the minute, don't they? But I think that they're someone I'd like to avoid, Macclesfield.
Totally agree, Matt. Home or away, I wouldn't fancy Macclesfield.
No, not away. I'm not going there again. Not a chance.
They've got match winners. They've got a lot of match winners.
They've got that dude up front with no air. What's his name? K or something?
He's good, yeah. And is it Isaac Ricketts or whatever his name is? He's a good player as well.
I have no idea. They lost yesterday, didn't they? So I'm just checking. I'm sure they lost. Yeah, they lost Chorley at home.
They've had a bit of a stick, haven't they? But they're still a good side. You got Merthyr in that mix as well, haven't you? There's no easy games. I think it's about momentum. We can go in with some momentum, 3 or 4 wins on the bounce going into it. And, it all depends who these players are that are coming in. Nick, you mentioned 2. If that they could be a difference, couldn't they? They could be a serious difference to us.
Absolutely, mate. Look at last season. Around this time, to be fair, slightly earlier than where we are now in March, aren't we? That's bonkers. But those 2 players we brought in were significant uplifts on what we already had with Morrison and Worrell. And I'm not necessarily expecting us to bring in players that do increase the level, but I'll tell you what, if we bring in 2 players that you go man for man look better than what we've got, then you got to fancy, haven't you? Really, you've got to hope that we can just pull it together, find a way, and really go sort of deep into the playoffs. And we've only gone past the first round once, and we won it. So look, we're all desperate to get out of this division, aren't we? I'm sure players, staff, fans, we're all desperate to get out of it and get into the National League. But it's going to be tough. And at the minute, I look at us and I don't quite think we're there. There needs to be a bit more. And hopefully Donnelly, the 2 new signings that we get back in, a bit of a refresh within the group, a bit of a kick on with the atmosphere, and we'll figure it out and get that momentum that we need.
Do you know what I've not liked, but I have liked but not liked this season? It's trying to second guess Adam Murray, because you just can't second guess what he's going to do, the way he plays and stuff, and the plays he's going to get on. Are we going to have 3 up front? Are we going to have 1 up front? Are we going to have no one up front? It's just been every week. It's just been the same thing. Thoughts on that, please?
No one saw coming on Tuesday right wing, did they? There's Thompson, who was our outlet.
Yeah.
And so still
involved in the goal though. Forward. Yeah, involved in the goal. That's what I say, Matt. Football's weird, isn't it? What I would say on that, just quickly, I didn't like Tuesday night with respect to Show Silver, because he came on and in the East Stand people were booing him, and I thought that is overstepping the mark. It's not like he doesn't try. It's not like he doesn't give it a go. I understand he might not be everybody's cup of tea. I understand he might not be people's perceived, this is the solution. Totally get that. And I know he missed a massive sitter in the season, but it's not like he played 20 games for us, never scored, didn't try, doesn't, he's not really had many opportunities. Do I think he is the answer? No. But I do also think that he didn't deserve to be so badly sort of introduced on Tuesday night. I thought that was out of order.
Were they booing him or the decision? Because when Seb Thompson's number come up and they saw him coming on, there was booing for that decision, not So Silva.
If anyone but Show Silva couldn't come on, if anyone but Show Silva comes on, though, do you think people boo?
I don't think Seb Thompson should have got off Tuesday.
I agree.
Whoever it was for, he shouldn't have gone off. That was what people around me in the stand were booing. It's like what he's been brilliant for the last 50 minutes. What are you taking him off for?
So and more of a decision.
And we looked terrible, and he was probably the only outlet apart from Divine. I think it was that. If people are booing our own players, that's abhorrent. It shouldn't be happening unless it's someone who's been an absolute melt and alienated the fan base for a reason. But we haven't got that. We've got a group of players, whether they're brilliant players or not quite the grade we need, they are giving a shit and they are putting an effort in. So if people are booing a player for that, I agree, Nick, it's abhorrent.
I just got that sense. In the North sense, Matt,
booing the rather than him.
Yeah, I agree that the booing Seb coming off because he'd had some impact in the game. Totally get that. I just got a sense that it was because Show Silva was coming on more than Seb was going off. Now, if that's not how it was, fine. But I just get a sense that he's a player that really gets kind of extra ridicule from certain parts of the fan base. And again, not defending him, not saying he's the answer or he's amazing, but it just felt a bit because it had been a gross performance, and then Show Silva, who, let's face it, when was the last time he played? It almost felt a little bit like Murray saying, "Well, this is what I'm left with as well."
Oh, he didn't come on, did he?
No. So
yeah,
that was my sense
coming on anyway.
Yeah, it was a weird one. Totally get that, but I just didn't. I don't know. I just felt this vibe where it was a bit like that's a bit harsh. But maybe, like you say, they were just booing the decision to take. I'd like to
think it was the decision rather than the player.
I hope
you can't
so.
be booing a player like. Yeah, that's. I don't agree with that. That's got no place.
No place in football. It's nice to see Seb Thompson, who I've been raving on about for the last 2 years, finally coming good. And he is. He's scoring, setting up goals.
I think he's the best option we've got out there at the minute. Whether he's the answer, I don't know. But from when he was moved to that right-hand side for 15 minutes and his performance that I've heard of yesterday, it sounds like he is getting there, which is good. Because he's a young player with a bit of ability. He's a local lad to Worcester,
great feet.
And other things. Good to see local lads do well.
Great feet. He's got really quick feet, and I think his ball delivery is really good in general. He puts a decent cross in. He's clearly good on set pieces. He scored an absolute ridiculous one last season, didn't he? As well.
Oh my god!
Probably one of the goals of the season last season. Seb.
Yeah.
So I know he's a player that for sure, divides opinion. Shall we say? I know John's not always the biggest fan of Seb, and I know Wes, you are a big fan of Seb. I sort of sit in between where I say what I've said previously, which is that don't feel like he always likes contact, but going forward, fast feet, ball delivery, set pieces. I think he's slightly more advanced in his development than Walker, certainly from a ball delivery perspective. And if we've got players in there now like Donnelly, like Waldron, Amari getting back into form, hopefully Seb, Divine can start to it's a nice balance, isn't it, with those two? And if they can both put some good quality deliveries in, then hopefully we're on to a winner. He scored goals. He must be feeling confident, Seb Thompson, at the moment. So hopefully it continues and he performs.
Has he got 8 now?
I think that'll be 9, including his goals at Leamington, which is no mean feat. I said this last week or the week before. I don't take into consideration too much about what he's done at Leamington. They're bottom of the league. Every team that goes to play them goes to win. There'll be space. There'll be opportunities if you're a player like Seb to try and get opportunities. Yeah. However, the caveat to that is if you're bottom of the league and you're scoring goals, what can you do in a team that's top 4, top 3, top 5? And if you can start to deliver that for us, then he's on to a winner. He really will be, because he'll be in the. Football's a crazy game, and if he scores 10 goals for us this season or next season, then he's in the window, isn't he?
The thing is, though, he would be a much better player in like League Two. I think he just have more time on the ball. I would have thought. Thoughts on that, please?
I think that's a bit of a jump. Whereas, to be fair, I think we're talking League Two, where I'd probably say Reece Devine's probably the only player we've got who could probably possibly play at that level.
Yeah,
the Joe Folks, Reece Devine,
never mind too. So I think we just need to be as good as much as I want to see Seb do well, and I think he will do well for this season. He's a more experienced player now. He had a time out on loan at Rushall. He's had a few months at Leamington where he's banged a few in at a very bad side. The league table doesn't lie, does it? He's gone and scored goals there, which says a lot. I think let's see what happens. I think labelling any of our players for League Two at the minute, even National League's probably a bit. Let's see, but I think it's good to see how he develops. I think at the moment
he looks a footballer, doesn't he? He loots a footballer, doesn't he? He looks a player.
Yeah, I think Walker's got competition now. I think he probably needs a bit of a breather out the way for a bit.
Yeah, agreed.
I think it might be a season too soon, but what a player to bring on for the last 15, 20 minutes.
Brilliant. Also, he's a right back.
Another one. He's got a part to play.
He's a right back as well. Like, Walker's sort of transitioned into this sort of more attacking, dynamic player, but we signed him as a right back. And if Joe Folks is out on, when is it, Tuesday? Joe Folks is injured.
Yeah,
could end up seeing Walker playing right back and Seb Thompson. Or Seb, or vice versa. But yeah, Seb's clearly got something. He is clearly a talented footballer. But what I just want to see, if he gets the opportunity to 15, 20 games for us and kick on, and if he does that, then he's in a really good place, isn't he? And he's he'll be a mainstay in the team. But we've got to see that, and if we do, then fair play to him.
Do you know what was different as well? Was I wasn't at Alfred Turn or the game before. When it was Walker's got the ball and he's crossed the ball in and there's no one there, and Chris Williams just losing his head about no one's there, and that didn't happen yesterday at all. There was people there all the time, every time people there. There was probably Donnelly just trying to kill people on the way.
It helps having bodies in the box, doesn't it?
Isn't it? It was the back stick one. My criticism of Walker is most of the time his cross doesn't beat the first man, but when it does go across that goal with a bit of pace. There's no one on the back stick.
Yeah.
Where
Alfreton was a classic example of that, Matt, in the first half.
Reading those balls in, we're laughing.
He put one across in I don't know if it was Alfreton or the game before, and Devine, I think, I could be wrong, but someone was front post and tried to flick it and missed it. It was a nice little cutback. But Seb's got that whipped one, hasn't he? He gets the ball and he can whip it. And if he plays left side and switches with Devine, he's got the in-swinging one as well. So he's definitely, they're both different types of players. I see Walker as, at this stage, purely a sort of an outlet, out and out pace, isn't he? He's like an old-fashioned winger, whereas I think Seb's got a little bit more skill, guile, and I guess final ball quality at this stage.
Joe and Dan was just like every podcast. Dan was like, just play him up front for a bit. Play him up front for a bit. Just give him 20
that was
minutes.
me a bit.
That was it you as well.
A little bit, yeah, because he's got that explosive pace that defenders don't like playing against. And I think, look, let's not overdo it on Walker. He's a young lad that's been given his opportunity because, and I go back to it, his final ball's not always there and he doesn't always make the right decision, but he has entertained me during some of the games in the last 2 or 3 months. So, yeah, he's not the perfect article. He's not a finished article, but really nice to see a player come in from levels below, play in the National League North, have some success. He's got loads of experience. Now it's time for him to have a rest and let Seb see what he can do for us. And Seb so far has grabbed the shirt and held on to it. And that's what you want in a football team. So I don't think we need to go overboard in terms of, Walker maybe have failed. I don't think Walker's failed for us. I just think it's just part of his development. And like Matt said, next season or maybe the season after, he could be a top player for us and actually be a real asset. So I think Seb's just probably slightly ahead on his development journey with football and good luck to him. And hopefully on Tuesday and Saturday he continues to kick on. Love to see it.
Walker came on and within 5 minutes got a yellow card. He got a yellow card.
Did he?
Yeah. He's just so fast. I don't think he meant to foul the guy, although he probably did, but I don't know. But he fouled the guy. It was a good foul, and he got a yellow card. And that was commitment to the
12
cause.
quid in it for a yellow.
12.
Is it still 12
Is
quid?
I can't remember.
Dunno.
You still have
Everyone
to pay
has
that, don't you?
don't they? Every player has to pay the fine. Yellow
Doesn't
or red
matter who
card,
it is.
no matter what level.
Yeah, CFA, you got. I mean, imagine Roy
Nice
King.
little bit of the
Roy. That's 12. No, 18 quid for that red card, mate.
You get 1,000 yellow cards at £12 a pop, and that's profit.
A lot. It's a lot. There you go. Right, guys, let's go to the comments. Cage FC TV. Murray still screeches at him, though. I think that's in reference to Seb. Murray still screeches at everyone. He really, really does. In fact, I've got a really lovely photo that I'm going to put on. If you guys can find something else to talk about, that would be amazing. That'd be lovely stuff. You don't have to, but I'm doing something. So please chat away. Oh, Matt, are you going away to a European destination to watch football again anytime soon?
You what, mate?
I said, are you going to a European destination to watch football anytime soon?
No, not in the next few weeks. Put it that way. I probably will look to go to San Siro again at some point within the next year before they start knocking it down. But yeah, me and the lads are looking at maybe next February again for another city to drink dry. So pop your comments in for any suggestions, guys.
Right, okay. So this was a photo I took after the game. It was really weird. I've never seen this before ever. I'm guessing it's because of the 4G and the nature of playing on 4G. But they literally were just the game had finished. They come over, saw the fans, blah blah blah. That was it. And they were just all stretching and doing that kind of.
Wes, this happened not so long ago. Can't remember when it was, but maybe the last home game before Alfreton potentially, or maybe there was a game where they did this not that long ago at home. So I don't know whether it's like a new, I don't know, routine or what.
Mario was giving it large. Come on, boys, I'll do that kind of. And anyway, when they were doing that, I just shouted, Adam! And then he looked at me and I went, get in, and he was like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, we're friends, happy days, we're loving that right now. It's easy to be friends. We just won 3-1 at Royal, right? So that's all good. So yeah, sorry, enjoyed that. That was fun. A yellow, the £12, mate, but depends what you did for the red card. When you get to League 2, fine increases as they're on decent wages. Can't be that
apparently top strikers in the division is like 1,500 to £2,000 a week, even at this level.
What, fine?
Or just a striker in and around wages. So if you think of that, what must an EFL player be on? Because let's face it, £2,000 a week's a 6-figure salary, isn't it? So it's not bad.
Doing something you like as well. That's annoying, but also fun. Right. Okay, guys. We've been going. It's Kidderminster Harriers Fans Podcast, episode 55. Can you believe we're still here, Nick? Can you believe that, my friend? 55.
What, tonight or in general?
In general.
You know what? It's been great. So feels like it's been going on for a long, long time, to be fair. But what episode did you say it was? 50?
55.
55. Definitely feels like it's come a long way from the first couple of episodes. So like I always say, thanks for everyone that tunes in. You get nice comments from people when you're out and about, and everyone seems to really enjoy it in the main. So thanks for everyone for listening. I guess Wes, thanks for setting it up, because it's been I think it's been a good addition in the main. It's been ups and downs, just like the real season, and that's what it's about, isn't it? Yeah,
I'm going to do something that's going to be really cool.
But as long as it's not a replica shirt, mate, that's okay.
Well, anyway, we've got to talk about the World Cup. World Cup's coming up. Did you want to do anything about the World Cup, or are we just stopping the podcast? What do you reckon? Could be a bit
maybe when it's a bit closer.
Yeah, it could be. No, not now, obviously, but like when the football's ended and the World Cup's on, we could always come on here and just slag off England and whatever if you wanted to. Just a thought, maybe. Just a thought.
I mean, right at this moment, as weird as it sounds, the World Cup's not even in my thought process. Like with the stuff that's going on in the world in general, I feel like the World Cup's like I'm not saying it's not going to happen, because there's too much money in it for it not to happen, but I feel like there's a long way to go between now and the summer. Reference the World Cup, but I think maybe when it's this season's over, it's a conversation. But I think for now, it's all about Harriers, isn't it? The mighty Reds.
The mighty Reds. Come on, the mighty Reds. Any other business, Matt? Any other business at all, my friend? How's it been in the
not
caravan?
Not for me tonight. We're on though.
Could you give us a tour of the caravan, Matt? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Good
So
stuff.
we've got
He is as well.
the lounge area.
Oh, there we go.
TV
Nice.
in there as well.
Yes, lovely stuff.
This is like the kids' bedroom, which they're obviously not entering the house. And then the bathroom's in here, which has got full of water tanks at the minute.
Oh, nice.
And that's the lounge.
He's got the new Dion Dublin.
Hey?
You like the new Dion Dublin?
Dion Dublin on wheels.
Yes. I love that. We should,
So
that's amazing.
We haven't been out in it yet. We've stepped in it a few times. I think we're going out in it, not next weekend, weekend after. So see what happens.
Where you going?
Bewdley. Keep it local.
Yeah. Make sure it's all like do a bit of a test run, basically.
Yeah, make sure the axle doesn't come off the wheels and stuff. That's absolutely amazing. Absolutely. KHFC TV says she kicked you out, Matt.
She has left him.
No, she
Forgot
hasn't.
about that.
It's a good respite place, I suppose. The kids go to bed at 8 o'clock, and my office is next to their bedroom, and I can either go up there in the kitchen, and if the wife wants to come and get a drink and stuff, I thought I'd just come in here.
I love that.
You can't read that one out.
I just want to sleep. When it gets 9 o'clock, right? It gets even in the summer, well, maybe not so much as but like this winter has been dreadful. It's got to 8 o'clock, and I've been like, can I push it out till 9? And then I'm thinking, well, what else can I do to the world to make it even better? And the answer is just go to bed. Go to bed, son. Just go have a good sleep and that kind of thing. That'd be cool. Nick, any other business for you, my friend?
No, nothing for me. Nothing that springs to mind. Just looking forward to 2 home games on the spin. My little girl's football team and all of her teammates are going up for the game on Saturday, so I've got to sort that out with the club tomorrow, which will be always a joy. But no, looking forward to it, and it's nice to be weirdly in it's a nicer weather and going up to games as opposed to being absolutely freezing cold every bloody minute and it pouring down the rain. So looking forward to the next 2 games, and hopefully we can we'll be a bit more entertained than last Tuesday and get the big 3 points.
So there you go. There it is. Guys, should we call it? Thank you so much. What a lovely chat, lovely evening. I hope if you're watching, you've had a good time. We've got 2 more games on the way. I think someone actually guessed the attendance. I think they got spot on yesterday, which is amazing. I think it was Brian. Spot on guess. That gets you 15 points. Oh, Phil Banner, as an HG driver going down the Harriers on Saturday means everything to me. All the joy. Oh,
love that.
Cheers, Phil. Thanks, Phil. How big's your HDV, Phil? How many tons is it, son? In fact, I don't care. I want to go to bed. So thank you. Maybe tell us next time, Phil. That'd be amazing. Thank you. Everyone got involved. Thanks so much. Right. Here I am. I can't just wave you off, can I? We've got to say thank you so much to Matt. He's back. He's live from Jay's Caravan. Thank you, Matt. And Nick, looking pretty in pink tonight, mate. Congratulations. And it's been me, Wes, as well. Lovely seeing everyone yesterday as well. Thank you so much for getting involved and just saying nice things. It was good, better than horrible things. So thank you so much, everyone. I don't know what Matt is laughing at me. Have a look. Big enough to crush you up. Woo! Well, that's not hard, mate. That's not hard. Oh my goodness me. Oh, listen, you guys, crack on. Have a great life. Enjoy it. We'll see you next Sunday.
See you next week.
Enjoy Tuesday. And enjoy John. He's changing the situation. See you later, guys. Bye bye.